welcome to another installment of the Robert and Crew Show with your hosts, Robert and Crew.
Welcome back to the Robert and Crew Show. As always, I am your host, Robert.
And I'm the co-host, Crew. How is everybody doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty freaking fantastic. What about you, bro?
I'm doing wonderful. And we got a special for you guys tonight. Hello, Julie.
Hey, Julie.
Now, I want to point this out here. Julie, you have become our number one fan since season 2.
Give it up.
And we thank you for that. We thank you.
Give it up. Chicken time bomb. Best fan in the world. That's right.
Now, I want to point this out here. So, Robert and I earlier today had a conversation. Not a very nice conversation about what happened. Now, we are not happy with what YouTube did earlier. But there's nothing we can do about it until we can get until we can figure out the tools to fix the situation. So the Content House episode was banned on YouTube. So if anybody wants to go check it out, you'll have to go to Facebook and watch it on the page or Robert's personal page.
Yeah, for sure. Guys, YouTube's been screwing us. YouTube has been screwing us. They so basically whenever we post up footage from TikTok, it doesn't matter. Like TikTok is like you can basically do whatever you want on TikTok. Well, with YouTube, YouTube won't ban us because it's other people's videos. But what they do is they ban the video because the video has music that's copyrighted. But they understand that it's not technically our video, so they don't put the copyright strike on us. But it's just like, God damn it, YouTube, give us a break.
Like that video alone, when Robert and I were on the phone earlier, apparently from noon to whenever, it was getting 16 views an hour. And we were up 90-something views on YouTube alone. That's our biggest episode that people were into. So if y'all want more of that, we'll give you it as much as we can, but we're going to focus on more than just content houses.
Yeah, and we're gonna get that episode back up on YouTube. We're just gonna have to mute some of the videos that were used so that YouTube will unban the video. So that video may be a little bland at some points, but that's only because we had to mute it. We didn't have a choice.
And after last night's live, Robert pointed out where our video got shared by a famous Twitch streamer.
Well, we don't know if he's like famous, but he's got a lot of fans.
Yeah,
and that helped us out a lot last night. It helped us out a ton last night. I don't know what happened, but he shared the stream, and the stream on Twitch went up a little bit. It was like it was a little bit more than normal, and then YouTube, for some reason, I think he shared the link on YouTube and not on Twitch because the YouTube is what skyrocketed.
Yeah, and we're doing a shout out to you, my guy. We're doing a shout out to you. Thank you very much. You gave us a shout out by doing that. We appreciate it. Like, subscribe, share to everyone.
Yeah, thank you so much. I believe his name was Arctic Fox.
But
so
anyways,
thank you, Arctic Fox.
Robert and I got a special for you guys tonight. And it is about what, Robert?
We're doing a cast tonight about London, England, in the UK.
From the 1800s to now.
My cat is being a little loud. Sorry, guys. Thanks. Calm it down.
At least
All right.
Spyro's not
Well,
making
yeah.
any noise right now.
So, do you have information on London all the way back to the 1800s?
Sadly, I do not. I would have if my phone, didn't want to act like a complete total bitch tonight. But I will say
Oh, your
this.
phone acting up.
Yeah, my phone's acting up. I'm trying to, pull up information like usual. Typical connection issue bullshit.
Okay, so I'll pull it up real quick. Okay, so the 1800s, there was an industrial boom in the Victorian grandeur. The 19th century saw London explode in the heart of the British Empire, and the Industrial Revolution. By 1801, the population hit about 1 million, making it the world's largest city. A title it held for much of the century. Factories, railways, and docks sprang up, fueled by coal ambition. The Thames was a battling artery, though it sank from the pollution and cholera outbreaks. The Great Sink of 1858 forced Parliament to act on sanitation. The Victorian era, 1837 to 1901, brought iconic developments to London. Underground opened in the world's 1863, or the London Underground opened in 1863, the world's first metro. Big Ben and Houses of Parliament rose in the 1850s, and landmarks in the Crystal Palace 1851 showcased the industrial might. But it wasn't all glory. Poverty festered in the slums like Whitechapel, where Jack the Ripper stalked in 1888. Charles Dickens captured the duality, wealth, and squalor side by side. 1900 to 1945, war and modernity. The 20th century kicked off in London, still imperial, its population peaking at about 8.6 million. By 1939, the Edwardian era in 1901 to 1910 glittered with opulence. But the World War I in 1914 to 1918 darkened the mood. Airships and planes bombed the city, a grim preview of what was to come. The interwar years saw suburban sprawl and cultural shifts. Art Deco, jazz, and the BBC was founded in 1922. Then came World War II, the Blitz in 1940 to 1941. Pummeled London, 30,000 dead, neighborhoods completely reduced to rubble. St. Paul's Cathedral stood defiant amid the flames, a symbol of endurance. Post war, rationing lingered, but recovery began. In 1948, the Olympics and Festival of Britain were held in 1951. In 1945 to 2000, the rebuilding and reinvention. In post-war London rebuilt concrete and optimism in 1950s and 60s, brought the Windrush generation, the Caribbean immigrants shaping the multicultural city, swinging London emerged. Carnaby Street, the Beatles, miniskirts, and the skyline modernized two towers like BT Tower of 1964 and the later Canary Wharf Tower of 1990 signaled a shift to finance. The Thatcher years, 1979 to 1990, polarized. Deregulation boosted the city's wealth, but strikes and riots like Brixton in 1981 exposed inequality. The IRA bombed London sporadically from Harrods in 1983 to the Docklands in 1996. By the 90s, Cool Britannia, Blur, Oasis, and Tony Blair rebranded the city as hip and forward-looking. From 2000 to the present, it's now considered a global metropolis. The new millennium opened the Millennium Dome and the London Eye in 2000, symbols of confident capital. The 2012 Olympics cemented this, showcasing a diverse dynamic in London. Population swelled past 6 million, with over 300 languages spoken. Challenges mounted to the 7/7 bombings in 2005 that killed 52. Testing resilience again. Brexit in 2016 onward rattled the global status of London, yet finance, tech, and culture kept it humming. Climate protests, knife crime, and housing crisis dominate headlines today in London, while the pandemic of 2020 to 2021 emptied the streets before they roared back. The skyline's a mashup of how St. Paul's dwarfed by the Shard in 2012, the Gherkin in 2004, and the Walkie Talkie in 2014. London's still a paradox. The old pubs beside the glass towers, the royal pomp amid the urban git, from gaslight Victorian alleyway to today's electric sprawl. It's a city that never stopped evolving. That never stopped evolving. So that's a little bit on London from the 1800s all the way into present day.
I know that London is a city within a city. And also, this
And
is
what do
not
you
a
mean by
legend.
that?
Oh, I learned that in one of the videos today.
Oh, okay.
But this is not a legend, guys. This is actual truth. So, I found out growing up that my family is related to Queen Elizabeth.
Right. Well, I also know, man, that a lot of people, believe it or not, a lot of people in the United States are directly related to the royal family.
Yeah.
I knew a
And,
girl in high school who, if 22 people died, she'd become the
mm,
queen. How crazy is that? If 22
right.
people died, she would become queen. That is absolutely insane. But that just goes to show you that like a lot of people are directly related to the royal family. The royal family got around.
Right. And here's what's even fucked up. Whenever I told people about that, they'd be like, "Oh no, man, you're lying. We don't believe you. We don't believe you." I'm like, why would I lie about that? I was told that when I was a kid.
No, you didn't lie about it. And if people looked more into their genealogy, they'd find out that quite a few of us are directly related to the queen. Quite a
Right.
few of us. Like it's not uncommon actually. Just
Like
like there's
they're
quite a just like there's quite a few people out there, like normal people that are American citizens that are directly related to Fidel Castro. So I mean, if the people got around, man, the people got around. Half the world's related to Genghis Khan. So I mean, you have to understand that. I mean,
like
people got around.
how my mom worded it is like they are distant cousins or something.
Well, they're probably you. I could see like fourth, fifth, or sixth cousins for sure.
Yeah.
Like, so like with the royal family, at least in what I know of, like basically a lot of American families are related by some kind of like either like one of the king's sons or whoever went across seas, fooled around with somebody. They had a kid, and then that kid had kids, and then there was another part of the bloodline that was born. But basically, that bloodline was very hard to find until things like Ancestry.com came out and 23andMe came out. And now people are finding out just how many people are really related to the royal family. And it's quite a bit. It's quite a few families. It's quite a few people. There are tons. We're talking hundreds of thousands of people are directly related to the royal family.
Mm-hmm.
But that's still really cool. That's really cool that you're one of those groups of people that is directly related to the royal family.
Right.
I believe so. I'm adopted. I believe that my adoptive mother, her side of the family, is in some way or another directed or directly related to royalty in like Wales.
Hmm.
So, like the royal families got around, man. They got around.
Right.
So, have you ever been to London?
No, but I've always wanted to go.
I've always wanted to go too. So, I've been out of the country a couple of times, but I've never been to London. I would love to go to London. London would be absolutely amazing to see things like Big Ben and just to be able to enjoy the architecture that surrounds London, the old style architecture, the pubs, the water canals, just everything that surrounds the city. That place is so beautiful. And then to see
Mhm.
things like the cathedrals in London, and then to see like the what's it called, Parliament, and then to see like um the the big palace or whatever, Buckingham Palace, to see all these
Mhm.
places that surround that area are just absolutely gorgeous, and
Oh yeah.
work a lot of hard work went into building all of that.
Hmm.
And, one could say that that place in Buckingham Palace might be Tartarian. Who knows? That's a legend, but it could be. Nobody really knows. But yesterday we did or it was yeah, it was yesterday, right? We did, or no, the day before yesterday that we
Hmm.
did Tartaria, right?
Yep.
And Tartaria is very interesting because these buildings that not a lot of people know about, they can't figure out who built some of these buildings, and the buildings have, or if they can figure it out, the timelines don't make sense. Like, some of these intricate, crazy buildings were built in, like, a year or 2 years, when we all know that building buildings now, they like, if you build a skyscraper, it can take anywhere from 2 to 5 years.
Hmm.
So, um, back then, you couldn't build a palace in a year. It's gonna take probably 10 years to build.
Right.
So, it would be very interesting to know how long it took them to build Buckingham Palace.
Mm.
Well, we do have some videos tonight, and we also have I was just gonna say, like, what's some of your favorite things about London? What's some of your favorite things about the United Kingdom?
Well, honestly, the culture, the history behind it.
There's a lot of history in London, that's for sure.
Hmm. One of my all-time favorite history lessons on London is the Viking history.
There's Viking history in London? I didn't know that.
Hmm. Yep. All throughout England.
Well, I knew that there was a lot of Vikings that came from England for sure, but I didn't know they directly came from London. I guess that makes
Well,
sense,
they didn't
but I didn't
come
know.
from England, they came to England. And one thing that, okay, so I'm going to use a Valhalla reference real quick, from Assassin's Creed. Uh, the character you play as travels to London.
That's not Ezio, is it?
No,
No. Sorry, guys. Excuse me.
Ezio isn't around to
That's
like
not right.
the earlier ones.
Yeah, I thought Ezio was like one of the first Assassin's Creed games.
Mm-mm.
But
He was
London.
like two in Brotherhood.
So we do have to acknowledge one thing about London. We got to acknowledge the elephant in the room, Jack the Ripper.
Oh yeah, Jack the
Now,
Ripper.
we all we all know there's a famous serial killer back in the day, back in the 1800s or like late 1800s, named Jack the Ripper.
Hmm.
Jack the Ripper would go around to throughout London town killing prostitutes,
Yep.
because they believed that he either didn't like their lifestyle choices, or maybe they reminded him of his mother. They don't know. They don't know why he did what he did,
Hmm.
but it didn't make a lot of sense, and a lot of a lot of people looked for him for a very long time, and nobody ever found out who he was. Supposedly, I've heard recently that we might actually know who Jack the Ripper is now because they said they
H.H.
found
Holmes.
some kind of. I've always said it was probably H.H. Holmes because he came from London to
Right.
America, and the Jack the Ripper killings stopped around the same time that H.H. Holmes arrived in America.
Hmm.
So that's definitely interesting. But Jack the Ripper is one of the craziest serial killers I remember hearing about as a kid and researching because I thought he was so crazy. Like that this man was going around and unaliving prostitutes and was doing it at a rate that is almost unbelievable and nobody could figure out who it was. And it was happening nightly at one point. It wasn't like, oh, it was happening here and there. It was happening all the time. And then they just stopped. Which means either A, he left the country, or B, he died.
Right.
Is there anything else about London that you know off the top of your head?
They have the most beautiful buildings throughout history. Like the structures look so amazing, and um the artwork. Birmingham Palace is so beautiful to look at,
Buckingham?
or Buckingham, yeah. And
Yeah.
one of the things I do actually want to go see in person is the clock tower.
Big Ben.
Yep.
Excuse me, sorry guys. Yeah, no, Big Ben is awesome. So one of my favorite movies of all time takes place in London. That's for V for Vendetta.
Hmm.
Freaking great film. And they kind of sort of um explode Big Ben in that film with like fireworks and stuff.
Hmm.
Remember the 5th of November, the
Mm-hmm.
most famous line from that film. But yeah, no, V for
Yep.
Vendetta, dude. London is a place that everybody should probably visit at least once in their life.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's kick off some little videos, guys. Let's learn some things together.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to London. Discover the iconic skyline, the bustling streets, and the vibrant energy that never stops. This is London.
Did that cut out really bad
A little bit, but
for you?
it's still,
Yeah, like
yeah, a little bit.
that was weird. That was weird. Oh no, but London, cool video there of like above.
Where's the restrooms? Wait, you guys say toilets here? Huh. Okay. Right to the point. Wow, even their cash is so royal. This is nice. This is like Monopoly money, but like nicer. Why don't we have those? Wow, this is nice. Wait, kind of looks like Grand Rapids. Just wow. That's really impressive. That's wow. This is amazing. Wait, you guys get Uber Boat? We don't even have that in America. This is great. What? Wow, it's like really clean here. This is what we need in LA. This is
Thoughts on that?
Americans being Americans when they go to another country.
This cat is gonna drive me insane. He's running
Right.
around jingling his bell, and it's loud enough that I can hear it in my microphone. And then he ran up here and he hit my microphone a second ago.
Mm.
Dude, felines.
Right. They can be a nuisance. It's so beautiful, that place.
What happened?
Oh no, that was a weird glitch.
Dude, StreamYard's been taking me off, man. Why am I paying this money for this application that barely works?
Hmm.
I don't know. It's irritating, dude. Sorry,
Right.
guys. I don't know what's going on. I hope it doesn't look as choppy as it does over here. This looks terrible a little bit. Dude, this cat is gonna drive me insane.
People from New York want to act like London people.
We want to act like the people from London.
Yes.
But you're wearing.
It doesn't matter.
But you guys are dressed like Americans.
No, we're not.
Air Force Ones were made popular by Nelly in the 2000s. And my Air Force Ones, we made that popular. What are you talking about? I'm not understanding. All the drip that y'all rock right now, you're drinking McDonald's drink.
Okay, but
Talking about we want to be like y'all. The sense is not sensing. It's not.
it's not.
It's not.
Nah.
I need to understand. Tell me one thing that makes y'all dope.
Light skins, isn't it? Where most of us, sorry.
Are you black?
Yeah.
You're black and you're telling me that being light skinned is what makes you dope.
Yeah.
Okay. Whose man's is that? Bombastic side eye.
So he's trying to say that those girls from the UK are trying to be like Americans, but they were mad because Americans try to be like them.
Right.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Those girls need to
Right.
figure out what they're talking about.
Right.
This Dude, there's something going on with our application right now, guys. We are having technical difficulties. This thing is like not working for a second. I don't know what's going on. Might just have to listen to me ramble about London right now. It's starting to cut videos out. It's not working. It's struggling. We're having a failing podcast right now for whatever reason. I blame StreamYard. I 120% blame StreamYard for this. I'm gonna see if I can't fix it though. Give me a second. Turning off the only other thing in the house that uses Wi-Fi. We're gonna see if that fixes it. If that doesn't fix it, then we're gonna just have to ramble ourselves away tonight. Make the best out of a crappy situation.
Right.
talk about something about London. It's not that hard to talk about it.
Now you're being all choppy.
It shouldn't be.
Now you're frozen. A glitch in the matrix. Robert is glitched.
Just look up stuff.
You're glitching, bro. I can barely hear you. You're like you're saying something and then he goes, eh.
This is not working, guys.
Yeah, you're frozen, bro.
It's not having a good time right now.
Mm.
We're gonna have to either restart or do this another day, guys.
Oh wow, Robert's
Our
back.
equipment is not allowing us to. I am back.
You're going in and out.
I am back. I know. I don't know what's going on.
Maybe it's the ghost telling
I
you
think
not
it's
to
the
podcast
program.
tonight.
I don't know, man. There's things going on in my house right now. There's just
Yeah, you keep going
like
in and
not
out. You
letting
keep
me do things that I want to do. I'm not allowed to podcast.
I don't know, man. Try doing another video, see if it works. Oh, there goes Robert. He'll be back, hopefully. All right. Let's see what's going on here. Give me a second, guys. I'm gonna see what's up. Well, everything's working on my end. It's probably just having connection issues. It happens. Okay. Oh, here he comes.
Is that better?
It does it every episode, bro, for you. You'll come
What
in
do you
and
mean?
out. Like you'll freeze for a second, then you'll talk. It's a connection issue.
It's fucking StreamYard being shitty. I have good internet.
I know.
I
So do
have
I. But
wonderful.
I'm not even connected to the internet right now.
What?
I'm not even connected to the internet right now.
You have to be connected to the internet, man. You can't be on live if you're not connected to the
No,
internet.
my phone's not connected to the internet right now.
Oh yeah, no, you're going off of random data, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The videos ain't working, man. Every time I click on the video, it basically is slowing the stream and like kicking us out or kicking me out or whatever. I don't know what's
It
going
wasn't
on
slow
with
for
it.
me. It's not slow for me.
It's not.
Mm-mm.
Not at all.
Yeah, it's playing normal for me.
Okay. Let's see. Here we go.
It worked just fine.
Yeah, that worked that time.
But I have to say, those buildings were.
Maybe I just had to. Those buildings are beautiful.
Mm-hmm. The
I'm all about
stonework,
the
the
architecture.
architecture to it, like wow, that's just beautiful to look at. Like I want to see all those. I want to see all those buildings in person.
Yeah, no, going there and seeing the way that those people live and the buildings that they live in are some of the coolest things in the world. Like, have you seen the skinny apartment buildings?
Mhm.
They look crazy. I don't know if we have a video of those tonight, but they look crazy. They're these buildings that are stupid skinny that people live in. They're pretty cool, actually.
Right.
The
That was it.
houses, brother.
Right. The house is all connected. Those windows looked great. The brickwork, phenomenal. Like those are genuine, good-looking houses.
Why can't we have, well, like, I just like the community like look of it. And I wish we had more things like that in America. I wish that our architecture like resembled things that looked like that instead of we have these boxy looking houses that all look the same and we put them all in one area and we call it a neighborhood.
They
And I mean,
had
I
to
get
ruin it
it.
for
It's a
us.
privacy thing. Well, it's a privacy thing. People want more privacy.
Right. But here's the thing. They had to ruin it for us. We can't have things. London has nice things.
True.
Like what the fuck?
They do. That you are right. London and the United Kingdom and Australia all have really nice things, but they also have like barely any rights. You have to remember that.
I don't know what it is about cathedrals, but I just love looking at them.
They look like they're Tartarian, man.
Hmm.
I like the architecture. I love it. Regardless if it was built by Tartarians or it was built by normal London people, they are gorgeous either way, and I absolutely love them. I love that kind of architecture. I love that kind of stuff. And like it's very hard to replicate that in today's world.
Did you know this is a historical fact that Rome actually infiltrated England at one point?
I believe it. I didn't know that. I haven't
And
read about that, but I
there's
believe
some
it
Romanesque, like looking like structures throughout all of England.
for sure.
I learned that. I learned that in Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Right? Assassin's Creed.
The British are weird, and so are their skyscrapers. And that's why I'm going around London to try to find these buildings, and my first stop is the Cheese Grater. Designed by Richard Rogers, this building has stood out to Londoners due to its structure. It's a very big wedge, hence the nickname Cheese Grater. And right across from it is what has to be one of Rogers' masterpieces, the Inside Out building. This is Richard Rogers' mania. This, in my opinion, has to be one of the most unique buildings I've ever seen in a city center. Time to visit the Gherkin. Designed by the legendary Norman Foster, this building set the trend for these nicknames, and it's known because of its pickle shape, making it the grandfather of this quirky family. Lastly, we have the Shard, designed by Renzo Piano, arguably one of London's most iconic skyscrapers. Because of its shardy top, these buildings really do shape the skyline of London. They're all quirky, but that's what makes them good. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Nino's Buildings in a cold London. Have a good one.
Those buildings, once again, those skyscrapers, absolutely beautiful.
Oh yeah.
How come we can't have more crazy looking skyscrapers? We just have square skyscrapers.
Right.
They're just square. And they go up vertically. That's it. They're not cool looking. They're ugly. Why is all of America's stuff ugly looking? Why couldn't we make it like the coolest, most beautiful place you can go to in America is like the national parks. If you want to see beauty, go look at nature, because most of the stuff in like normal American society is ugly. I don't know why, but it is. We have some really beautiful churches and like some really beautiful like Capitol buildings and stuff like that. We have some really beautiful government buildings. But besides that, like America doesn't have very beautiful buildings. All of our buildings look the same too. Same thing with all of our houses. They all look the same.
Right.
So that was a partial view of London.
Mm-hmm.
London in the 1900s?
1930s.
1930s. There you go. And that looked pretty nice. Like the buildings back then still looked as nice as they do now.
Oh yeah.
And I would argue the older you go, the nicer the buildings look.
And notice how everybody wore suits back then?
Yeah. They did it in here in America too, but like nowadays nobody wears suits anymore.
Right.
Have you ever
Unless you're
wondered why buildings have decorative elements?
Unless you're a businessman.
For sure.
Have you ever wondered why buildings have decorative elements like these? There's probably more to it than you think. This architectural tool is known as ornamentation. It is best understood as an architectural language that allows a building to tell the world what it's there for and how important it is. Sometimes these are elements that are required for structural or functional reasons, and architects embellish them to make them more beautiful or interesting. Take these corbels for example, used to support the balcony. In their most basic form they could be a simple triangle, but instead they are scroll-shaped. Likewise, these gates could have been straight metal bars, or this keystone could have been plain like the others. Other ornament has no functional purpose, it's just there to provide symbolic value. In Western architecture, it's common to use elements inherited from ancient Greece and Rome to indicate that a building is important or prestigious. An example is this design that is commonly seen at the top of columns. It represents the acanthus plant, which is found in the Mediterranean, and was used by the ancient Greeks and Romans. The classical portico is flattened here, and symbolizes the fact that this is the entrance, even though it provides no shelter like the original references. Victorian British architecture often included a bust of the Queen to commemorate her reign or specific birthdays. Ornamentation is sometimes less serious. This pub is called the Hen and Chickens, so these figures are shown in the gable end. Modernist architects almost never used ornament, they considered it to be unnecessary and outdated. But if you have a look at some recent buildings, you might notice that it's starting to make a comeback.
That's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's very interesting. I love learning about architecture and things that are used in certain parts of the world to make their surroundings prettier. Because I feel like I said earlier, I feel like we live in just such a dull place. America is just so dull.
Mm-hmm.
The construction of London Bridge began in 1176 during the reign of Henry II. The construction works took a long time, and the costs were extremely high. It was completed in 1209 during the reign of King John Lackland. The resulting bridge was a unique architectural masterpiece at the time. The bridge was densely inhabited, with over 100 houses and shops built on it. It was a separate district in medieval London. The bridge measured about 8 meters in width and 250 to 300 meters in length. In the center, there was a 2-meter wide road which connected the two banks of the Thames. The pillars of the bridge were linked by spectacular arches. The foundations of the bridgeheads were not on the shore, but in the riverbed. Gatehouses were built on the bridgeheads and in the middle. On the two ends there were wooden drawbridges. At the southern end of the bridge, the spiked heads of executed traitors offered an alarming sight. In the Tudor era, there were nearly 200 buildings on the bridge. Because of the increased traffic, the road was widened and divided into 2 lanes. The bridge often caught fire, as the roofs were built of timber. At the end of the 18th century, it became necessary to replace the almost 600-year-old structure. The new iron bridge was opened in 1831. In the same year, the old bridge was demolished. Today, only a few of its elements are displayed in the parks of London.
Is that the bridge that nursery rhyme is about? The London Bridge is falling down, falling down, falling
I think
down. The
so.
London Bridge is falling down.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So that's about that famous bridge. So did it collapse at one point?
Probably, I'm not sure.
London Bridge is falling down, falling down. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that from my childhood. Or am I just crazy? Do you remember that?
I remember that
Like, no,
song very distinctly. Yep.
okay, good. You remember.
Rare colour photos capturing the beauty of London in the 1940s.
Absolutely beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I am all about London's buildings, man. I swear to this day, it's got to be one of the prettiest cityscapes I've ever seen in my life.
Right.
And I love the UK just distinctively for its architectural influence on that entire region of that continent.
Hmm.
It is absolutely gorgeous, all of it. And I know a lot of it was inspired by Greece and Rome, but still, it's still so beautiful.
Exactly.
Did you know there's a place in London where over 3,000 people are buried under your feet? Welcome to Westminster Abbey, a living page out of history. Right in the heart of London, this isn't just any old church. It's been the coronation church since 1066. Imagine, every English and later British monarch has been crowned here, on a chair that's over 700 years old. It's like the ultimate throne room. But did you know that there's a secret garden on the rooftop? That's right. The Abbey has a hidden garden at the top, rarely seen by the public. And it's not just about who's buried, it's about what's happened here. Westminster Abbey has seen over 16 royal weddings, including Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip, and recently, Prince William and Kate Middleton. It's like the go-to venue for royal history moments. Imagine walking the same floor that kings, queens, scientists, and poets have walked for over 1,000 years. That's Westminster Abbey for you, a real-time machine in the heart of London.
That's crazy and really cool. I love the fact that so it's basically a catacomb. That place is catacombs, right?
Yep.
So like I love that. Like England and the United Kingdom and just Europe in general have catacombs. I love it. It's creepy, but it's awesome.
Right, Stu fans, we're going to the Jack the Ripper Museum in London and we're going to pretend it's 1888 and see if we can figure out who the hell Jack the Ripper was. Now this place is in a Victorian house right in the heart of Whitechapel, and it's a museum laid out across 5 floors, giving you all the inside scoop into the victims, police, and mystery surrounding the man or woman who hid in the shadows of London, infamously wearing a top hat and cape. I'll let you decide if they did or not. Now these are actual newspaper articles surrounding the murders. Bring back the illustrated news, I say. Look how bloody awesome these newspapers used to be. You get to explore a crime scene recreation of P.C. Watkins finding the body of a victim, Mary Kelly's bedroom, as well as a mortuary, which I can't show you the photos of the victims for obvious reasons, but I will show you this autopsy report extract. And this is the police room, which shows all the real life suspects, witness statements, and even a replica of the famous From Hell letter, with a plastic kidney as they couldn't find a real one. If you remember the plastic mannequin P.C. Watkins from earlier, he was in fact a real copper, and this is his actual whistle and truncheon the night he discovered a body. Now the gift shop has an impressive collection of Ripper books for you to buy, and an adult ticket cost you £10. It was full of facts, I'll give it that, and it focuses respectfully on the victims, but the museum is also slightly comical. This is supposed to be Jack the Ripper's living room, which nobody knows who the fella or lady was, so how does that work? But anyway, I left the museum still not having a clue who Jack was. I'll be in the 10 bells if you want me. If you like all things Ripper, get yourselves there.
She's got a point. How do they know what Jack the Ripper's living room looked like if nobody knew who Jack the Ripper was?
Right.
That makes no sense. I love it though. That's quirky and funny. They got jokes.
Oh yeah.
Intimate portraits of the royal family will be exhibited at Buckingham Palace when the art galleries formerly known as the Queen's Gallery reopen as the King's Gallery. The exhibition entitled Royal Portraits, A Century of Photography will feature more than 150 photographic prints and previously unreleased correspondence and notes as to how the images should be presented. It will include a portrait of a young King Charles and his sister Princess Anne in 1956, as well as pictures of Princess Margaret taken before and after her marriage to Anthony Armstrong-Jones, whose works are also to be featured in the gallery. The exhibition will run from May 17th to October 6th at Buckingham Palace, coinciding with the introduction of a £1 ticket scheme for visitors in receipt of universal credit and other benefits.
Any way for them to make some money. It's just a bunch of pictures of the royal family and people are going to go see them. Yeah, that's just That's just the royal family making a quick dollar.
Oh yeah.
I'm not going to diss on them. If people want to spend that money to go see the royal family, they can go spend that money.
Exactly.
Queen Elizabeth's home, the Buckingham Palace, where she has sadly passed away this afternoon.
It's so big.
Mm-hmm.
Buckingham Palace is huge. There's a lot of
Oh
cool
yeah.
art in it, too.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that London and City of London are two completely different things? Let me explain why. While London refers to the capital city of England and the United Kingdom, the City of London is actually a separate city within Greater London. At just 1 square mile, the City of London is quite tiny in area compared to the metropolis surrounding it. But it packs centuries of history dating back to Roman times. It retains its medieval boundaries and serves as the financial hub for London, housing institutions like the Bank of England, London Stock Exchange, Lloyd's Insurance Market, and Fleet Street. On the other hand, Greater London refers to the vast metropolitan area incorporating 32 boroughs and landmarks like the London Eye, British Museum, and West End. So next time you're in London, keep in mind that the small historic core that is the City of London, with its distinct politics and commerce, is very different from the larger, more diverse capital city. 2 cities, 1 metropolis.
That was that 2 city thing we were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
That's very interesting. Actually, I don't know how that works, but
Me either.
I guess you'd have to live there to know how that worked.
Right.
Can I ask if the crown could be brought a little bit closer to the Queen? Oh, there we go.
This is what I do when I wear it. Can I look at this end?
Yes, certainly.
I like the Black Princess ruby.
This crown contains the story of 1,000 years of the history of the British monarchy. The ruby, actually a semi-precious stone mined in Afghanistan, is said to have been worn by Henry V in 1415 at the Battle of Agincourt. He is supposed to have placed a feather in the hole drilled into the ruby.
It's fun to see, I think, with the idea that his plume was put into the stone on his helmet. Bit rash, but that was the sort of thing they did, I suppose, in those days.
4 pearls hang underneath the arches. 2 of them were said to have belonged to Mary, Queen of Scots, and were bought by her rival, Elizabeth I, after Mary's execution.
They were meant to be Queen Elizabeth's earrings, but they're not very happy now. They don't look very happy now. Most pearls like to be sort of living creatures, so they've just been hanging out here for years. It's all sad. So they don't look very happy.
Quite dead.
Well, I'm afraid so. I mean, the trouble is that pearls are sort of live things.
Yeah.
And they need warming.
You know, she seemed like such a sweet old lady, but she also seemed like she had some she had some cognitive like things going on.
Right.
But everybody I've always talked to said that she was a really good person.
Oh yeah.
Buckingham Palace's East Wing opens to the public for the first time. The area has been private since it was built 175 years ago. Buckingham Palace next week will open the doors of the newly resurfaced East Wing for exclusive £75 limited tours. Visitors will also be able to discover the room behind the famous facade balcony.
So they're opening it. Is that the first time since the pandemic?
Probably, yeah.
Or is it just the first? Yeah. Crazy. The pandemic, like because of that stupid pandemic, everything got shut down.
Mm-hmm.
Ridiculous.
Back in the times of Princess Diana.
And that was supposedly the last footage they ever had of her alive.
I think so.
Crazy. You know, the story behind that is one of the craziest stories I've ever heard in my life.
Mm-hmm.
That's a whole nother episode. That's a whole nother podcast. To be honest, the Diana theories, the Diana story. That woman did so much for everybody, and then I believe she was unalived by somebody. I believe it was murder.
Mm.
There are other people that believe it was just a car crash, which is what the official story is. That Diana crashed her car and died.
Right.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Especially with all the circumstances that were going on between Diana and her family. Too convenient, if you ask me.
Mm-hmm.
The Tower of London is one of the best defended castles because, along with a moat, it was designed with not one but two sets of enormous defensive curtain walls. This means it is technically a concentric castle, and indeed this has been used for good purpose, for throughout much of its history the tower controlled the supply of the nation's money. From 1279 until 1810, all coins of the realm were made at the Tower Mint. Kings and queens also locked away their valuables and jewels at the tower, and even today a garrison of soldiers protects some of the most important objects in the realm, for the tower is home to the crown jewels.
The crown.
Mm-hmm.
How many people guard the crown?
Probably a lot.
How come the crown isn't worn all the time?
I don't know.
I thought kings and queens were supposed to rock their crowns constantly.
Well, okay, so you know that specific crown, right?
Yeah.
That crown is so old, it's put up for display for a reason.
But the queen wore it. She liked wearing it. She wore it all the time. So
Right.
it's not that old. Like it's old, but it's not like decrepit. It's not like falling apart.
Right.
So does it just not get worn anymore, or does the king wear it now? And if he does wear it, does he wear it often?
I don't know.
I don't know either. That's a weird question, but I don't really follow the royal family very much. Like not anymore. After the queen passed away, I kind of lost interest.
Right.
And you know the whole Epstein Mort thing with
Mm-hmm.
the Prince and Epstein Mort.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I like that. We'll call him Epstein Mort from now on
Yeah.
because of Brandon Epstein Mort. But yeah, the Prince had all these allegations get thrown on him, and then I was just like, yeah, they're not really good people anymore, so I stopped following them.
Mm.
And you know, there's all those people that think that they're a bunch of lizard people. That they're a bunch of reptilians, allegedly.
Right.
You know that whole story, right?
Mm-hmm.
That they're all lizard people,
Mm-hmm.
according to David Icke.
Yeah.
Isn't that a weird one too?
Oh yeah.
This is the most famous castle in UK with very dark history. The Tower of London is a historic castle located in central London, England. Originally built as a demonstration of power, it later served various purposes, including a royal residence, prison, and treasury. The tower has a dark history as a prison, and many high-profile prisoners were held and executed here, including Anne Boleyn, Catherine Howard, Lady Jane Grey, and Thomas More. The Bloody Tower is infamous for being the site where the two young princes, Edward Fee and his brother Richard, were allegedly murdered in the 15th century. Of the many legends has it that if the ravens leave the tower, the kingdom will fall. As a result, there are always at least 6 ravens at the tower, and they are cared for by the Raven Master. Also, the Tower of London is home to the crown jewels, including the imperial state crown and the sovereign's scepter with cross. The Tower of London is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and attracts millions of visitors each year.
Let's go.
Right.
You got money? Let's get
No.
plane tickets. Let's go.
I can't go yet. I gotta wait till I have the money to go.
We gotta go now, bro.
I know.
We gotta go now. We're not gonna live forever. Big Ben. Biggity Ben. So you always hear the funny thing about how London never has a sunny day, and every song you hear about London, it's about how rainy and nasty London is. Well, I saw all these TikTok videos earlier about London having sun. Like they're like, we actually do get sun here, guys. Like we know you guys don't believe that London ever gets the sun, but we get the sun all the time.
Right.
It's a whole bunch of these TikToks talking about the sun. And it's true. If you listen to any song about London, they're sad or they're about like it raining or they're about like snow in London town.
Mm-hmm.
It's never anything about like nice days in London.
The last time Prince Harry saw his family was at the late Queen's funeral back in September. It seemed that King Charles offered an olive branch.
I want also to express my love for Harry and Meghan as they continue to build their lives overseas.
And when Harry and his brother William, along with their wives, met with members of the public outside Windsor Castle, there were hopes it signalled a reconciliation. But away from the cameras, things were reportedly tense.
There was definitely not any great personal warmth between the two couples. I mean, when it was over, and they went their separate ways. They didn't even go in the same car together.
He told us it was predictable that Meghan would decide not to attend the coronation.
It becomes slightly less of a drama if she doesn't come here. So I think it's just thought, let's lessen the damage, lessen the pain by not coming.
Since the funeral, Harry and Meghan have released their Netflix series, and Harry's published his book, Spare, promoting it with tell-all interviews, including on 60 Minutes.
There needs to be a constructive conversation, one that can happen in private, that doesn't get leaked.
The palace wants this whole issue to go away. Is that right?
You say the palace, and yes, the palace as an institution does, but also the family. You always got to remember, these are people, you know, and we all have family rows, don't we, and family disputes.
You ain't wrong about that. We all have family disputes, that's for sure.
Yep.
I bet the royal family's disputes get bad though, because those people have so much money, and then if they fight or they get upset with one another, the other one can just move halfway across the world.
Mm-hmm.
The next station is Bond Street. Doors will open on the right-hand side. Change for the Central Line.
Bro, those old style phone booths just remind me of Doctor Who. And I never got to see a phone booth in real life, but I did see payphones. Like growing up, I saw payphones, but never phone booths. Like I never saw an actual phone booth in real life. Did you ever see one?
Mm-hmm. A long time ago. Now my
It's
cat's
weird,
being a
man.
butthole. Now my cat's being a butthole.
My cat finally laid down and went to bed. Thank the gods.
He's like, dude, I want attention.
Yeah, look at that cat, guys. Look at the cat. What's the cat's name?
Spyro.
Look at Spyro, everybody. Check out Spyro. He's a cool orange cat.
Mm-hmm.
Orange cats are just famously dicks, bro.
I
Orange
know.
cats do whatever they want.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care. Well, guys, we have 2 videos left. Tonight's episode's a little bit short. I'm sorry about the technical difficulties in the very beginning of the episode. That I'm going to figure that one out. I'm going to probably have to figure out something about how to do the cast closer to the router or something to make sure that the connection isn't bad, even though for some reason it's working.
And we're definitely going to do another part to this because London's a huge topic.
We're going to do a whole bunch on Europe. Like this is just like part 1 of our European series.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many more places to cover, and there's so many places that are surrounding that area that we can cover too, like Norway and Finland and all these other places. But let's hit our last couple of videos here.
Hey you guys, so I'm in London at the Buckingham Palace, and nobody realizes that I'm a whole American king out here. Like, this is crazy. Royalty is really out here with the people. I hope nobody recognizes me. Like, it's given hashtag Bow Wow challenge, but yeah, I gotta go, you guys, before my security gets mad at me because everybody is looking. I think people starting to pick up. Yeah, it's me. Yeah. How y'all doing? Okay, I gotta get out of here. Bye.
I don't know who that is.
I don't know either.
But anyways, he's in London.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who he is.
A man with a big ass ego thinking everybody's staring at him.
Right.
All because he's wearing a New York Yankees hat. Big whoop.
Right.
A moment for London's unique skyline.
Okay, guys. Well, tonight that is going to be our last video. We had to figure out, we had other videos, but with the whole thing with YouTube trying to block every single video that we're putting out now because of copyrighted music, we're trying to find videos that don't have as much music in them. So that's going to be a little bit more. We're going to have to put a lot more time into searching and finding things. So we're going to need you guys to bear with us here. But we hope you guys enjoyed the show tonight. Like Crew said, we're going to do a part 2 on this, and we're going to have a couple different European episodes, right, Crew?
Yep.
And I know we're going to want to do one on Romania and Transylvania.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and we'll also probably have to do a vampires episode coming out. And then I know here coming up in the next couple of weeks, we're going to have a What's Going On in the World Part 2. So that's going to be with, or what part would this be? This is not Part 2, it's like Part 4.
Well, news going on around the world, that would be like, oh God, I don't even remember what part at this point.
Yeah. Well, anyways, guys, we have another news around the world coming out soon in the next 2 weeks, and we'll probably have even another news update here in a little while. We've been following the news, but we haven't been really jumping into the political stuff lately because we've been wanting to wait for a certain person to be ready to film, and then on top of all of that, we've been trying to kind of stay away from the political aspect of the world right now because it's just upsetting a lot of people.
Oh yeah.
It's
annoying. It's gotten annoying too.
Yeah, it really has because it shouldn't tear families apart. It shouldn't hurt friends. It's ridiculous that that kind of stuff happens, even though like this is 2025 and we shouldn't be doing that to each other at all.
Right, it's cool to talk about every now and then, but not for an hour on length because then we'll get into debates, arguments, and there's no point. Like, it's cool topic, but not a really good topic.
No, you just end up hating. You either just end up hating the person you're talking to, or you end up wondering if you've been making bad decisions your whole life with the party you're following at the end of the conversation.
It's kind of like it's kind of like a harmful, hurtful conspiracy, but a harmful, hurtful topic.
Yeah, basically.
But
which
like,
also, guys,
subscribe,
soon here we're gonna
and
have
share.
another brand new conspiracy episode that's gonna come out pretty soon too. So we're gonna figure that out. We've got to do a conspiracy episode on Saturday, and I know Crew's aware of this, so we're gonna figure something out to do on Saturday for you guys. It's gonna deal with the wonderful conspiracy world.
And we'll figure out what we'll do tomorrow night for y'all. So tune in, like, subscribe, share, comment.
If you enjoy our show, please like, share, subscribe, and comment on our YouTube page, our Facebook page, our Twitch page, and our X page. And those are all under either the Rob and Crew show or the Robert and Crew show. So if you go onto YouTube or X and you can't find us using one of our names, use the other one, Rob and Crew or the Robert and Crew. So either way, you will find us if you look those up. Tonight was fun, guys. I'm sorry that, like I said, I'm sorry in the very beginning I had some issues. Hopefully we can kind of nip that in the butt next episode and not have that big of an issue. And then other than that, we wish you all a great night. We hope y'all tune into our next episode. Love y'all. Have a great night. Peace.
Welcome to another installment of The Robert and Crew Show with your hosts, Robert and Crew.